days we have been talking about regular verbs. Regular verbs are very nice, and regular AR verbs are awesome because you just chop off the AR, you add some endings on, and you get on with your life. They're very, very easy to conjugate. The other ugly part of Spanish verbs are irregular verbs. You've already seen a couple of them before because you've seen ser, to be. How messed up was that one? Ser, soy, eres, es, all over the place. It didn't make any sense. Tener was also irregular. You had tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tienen. Those two were both super irregular. Now, these verbs are irregular verbs, but the nice thing is that they have some stuff in common with each other, and they also have some stuff in common with AR verbs. So when you look at these verbs, once I show you how to conjugate them, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I can do that definitely, because the endings look like AR endings. What are the AR endings? O, as, amos, ais, an. Okay? So those endings, you're going to kind of recognize them here as well. Okay? So let's talk first of all about what these verbs mean, and then we'll get to what their forms are. What does ir mean?
Oh, I know this one.
You saw it in your packet. You had ir en el bus escolar and ir.
To go.
To go. Very good. To go. Whoops. To go. To go. What was ir a pie?
What was what?
To go on foot.
To go on foot. Okay? Or ir en el bus escolar.
To go to foot.
Not to go to foot. It's to go on foot. Otherwise known as to walk. It's a better translation. Dar is the opposite of tomar.
To not go.
Give.
To give. Okay? Dar is to give. Tomar is to
Take.
Okay?
Oh, Chris.
The teacher gives you the test, and you
Take it.
in a star you have not seen before. What did ser mean?
To be.
So does this.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there a certain time you use one?
Yes, there is. What an excellent question, Tabitha. Sometimes you use ser when you want to say to be, and sometimes you use estar. This one you use when you're talking about where something is located. You also use it when you're talking about feelings. So for instance, let's go back to ser for a second. When we use ser, we used it in these instances. You said things like, yo soy Eliana. I am Eliana. Yo soy morena. I am dark-haired. Yo soy regular. I am an average height. Yo soy flaca. Things like that, okay? That's describing what you look like. Then estar, you would use more like if you're talking about locations, such as like Montague is in Michigan. Or if you wanted to say you are in class right now, you would use estar. And then feelings like I am tired, I am angry, things that are not permanent. The things about yourself that are permanent, like your hair color, your personality, those use ser. But these are much more touchy.
Hair color. Yeah, you can change your hair color.
You still use it.
If you don't, they change when you get older.
Okay. So, the nice thing about the forms of ir is that they all, and this is not really nice that it's so irregular, but at least they all start with the same letter. So.
Oh my gosh.
And dar does too.
D.
Okay? Now, what do AR verbs end in if they're blah, blah, blah. Let me try that sentence again. What do AR verbs end in if they are in the yo form?
Oh.
Okay? But we're going to add something else. Voy. V-O-Y. Okay?
This is going to confuse me.
You'll be alright, I promise. What do they end in if they're in the to form? A-S, actually. What about if they're in the he form? An A. What if they're in the nosotros form? Nope. Amos. What about when they're in the vosotros form? Ice. A-I-S. But normally they have an accent, correct?
Yeah.
Right now they don't.
Just kidding.
And then what about the they form? On. Okay? So this is I go, you go, he, she, or you formal go, we go, you all go, and they go or you all go. Okay?
Is ud ustedes?
This is usted. Yep, and this is ustedes. Okay? These are abbreviations for them. This is usted, this is ustedes.
And is the D the same like OY and AS?
Yes, it is. Very good. Good job, Eliana. She just figured out that the reason I have these right next to each other is because they're identical, other than their first letter. Doy, das, da, damos, dais, dan.
Nice.
Okay?
Dan. Right? This is a random name.
That's my uncle's name.
Okay?
It's like the most
Now, this last verb right here, estar, the new one that you guys have not really ever seen before. Tell me how you conjugate AR verbs. What's the first thing you do?
You look at
Take off the AR.
You take off the AR, okay? So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take off the AR.
It's like abbreviation for ease.
Established. Or estimate.
Okay.
You made
Then,
me write
we're
these.
going to add on some endings here. What ending do you think we're going to add on for yo?
Oh.
Oh, why? Estoy means I am. If you want to say I am angry, estoy enojado or estoy enojada.
When you say yo.
Next one, two.
As.
Yep, but check this out.
magic.
What about he?
Ah.
With an accent?
They all accents.
No. This one is
Estamos.
estamos, but doesn't have an accent. This one is whoa.
Whoa.
Wrong button.
How about that? That looks better.
There's an accent.
There is an accent. And then this one is estar. Okay? Here's another way that you can think about it, all right? If you're kind of wondering, sometimes you use accents, sometimes you don't. When do you and when don't you? Here's another way to look at it. Here's the verb chart, okay? We've got yo, tú, él. Over here we've got nosotros, vosotros, and
Ustedes and ellos.
yep, ellos and ustedes. Now, here are the different forms of estar, okay? Yo estoy, no accent. Tú estás, accent. Él está, accent. This one is estamos, no accent, just like the same one.
I figured something out.
Vosotros estáis, accent. Ellos están. What do you notice?
When
Top
it's
ones
I,
don't have an
it doesn't have a.
Whenever I'm involved, there's no accent. Or another way to think about it, if you like to go in terms of boxes, the top two rows in the box do not have accents. These two rows do. Okay? So, it's just another way to think about it. And the accent is always over what letter? A. Okay? So, that ends our lecture for today about Irregular and Estar.